Okay, so in the previous video, we did review the ViFly ToothStor 3, which is still, as of today, in my opinion, one of the best 1S LiPo charger for OOP pilots. And in today's video, we will be looking at another edition, which is called the ViFly ToothStor. The only difference between these two are the ViFly ToothStor 3 is dedicated for 1S charging and the ToothStor is dedicated for 2S charging. So unfortunately, they do not do both. And since this is a heavy beginner-oriented channel, I will do the usual and give you a quick tutorial as of how to use the ToothStor. And at the end, I'm just going to share some of my thoughts about the ToothStor. All right, let's get it right into it. Okay, so when you first open up your ToothStor, you'll probably notice that it has so many common things to the Whoopstor because it basically shares the same design. You can see that they have the same casing, same types of charging port, and even same type of like cooling fans. The biggest difference is that the ToothStor has a bigger screen, LCD screen, and it only has 4 ports, and the ViFly ToothStor has 3, and this charges 2S and this charges 1S. Let's look at the ToothStor in a little bit more detail. And since we're talking about the ports, let's just talk about what types of battery you can charge with these. So on the top one, this is going to be the BT 3.0 LiPo kind of plug, which I don't see a lot of drone manufacturer actually using. I think mostly it's Beta FPV's drone, but I just don't see that there is a lot on the market. At least I just don't use them at the moment. So probably they are going to get popular later. But the second type is going to be the JST plug, which JST plug is this kind of plug, and you generally will have something like an XT30 cable, which is the more common drone, the battery plug that we use as a 2S pilots. So you will be able to basically plug in the JST like that, and you don't have to plug in the XT30, and you will be able to charge it like this. All right, another thing that we have to mention is each two of these plugs are going to be considered as one port. So there's going to be a safety notes right here is which you do not want to plug 2 batteries at the same port because they are only going to be either or. So you can mix and match. You can plug a JST right here, a BT 3.0 right here. You can plug a JST right here again, and you can plug a BT 3.0 right here. Like again, you can still charge it like that. So what you don't want it to do is to plug in a JST cable on the bottom and a BT 3.0 on the top at the same time. This is going to be a big no-no as the charger might just go kaboom to you. Okay, worth mentioning, the ToothStor is also going to be a serial-based charger, which means each port is an individual charging unit, which will allow you to plug in lipos at different voltage and capacity as they will be charging individually. So if one is done, you can just unplug it and leave the other one charging. So this is another main reason why you get to mix and match different types of lipos to it. So because it's individual charging, so you can just probably see them as an individual. Yeah, so just simply as that. Next, let's talk about how to feed power to your ViFly ToothStor. So you basically have 3 methods because you have 3 types of plugs. So the first one is going to be the regular DC input. This one you will have to get it from ViFly website because yeah, I think this is sold separately. So if you don't want to spend the money, probably this is not your best option. The second option is you will be able to use your larger LiPo within 3S to 6S. You can just plug it in with the XT60 cable and it's going to power up like that. So this is also going to be a very perfect way for you to discharge your larger LiPo and charge up your smaller lipos if your larger lipo is like you're not planning to use them. So the number 3 is probably the most common method, which I personally use, is by using USB-C cable to plug into the USB-C plug. But do note this one is easy, but there is a catch, which is you will require a minimum 65 watt PD charging block. So which means your regular iPhone charger is not going to work because that only supplies up to 15 or maybe up to 20 watts. So it's not going to be able to have enough power to power up the ToothStor. So you will have to go get a minimum 65 watt charging block. Any charging block is going to work as long as it has 65 watts and it's PD charger. Okay, so if you're just unsure which PD charger you should be getting, for me personally, I am using the robot charger of that 65. This one is the robot charger made by GravaStar. They did send this to me as to review it, but I decided to just put it in this video so I can show you how this thing actually works. So this is basically a 65 watt PD charger that is going to work with the ViFly ToothStor, and basically you can charge up your phone whatsoever with this. It's just a regular charging block with a really cool robot skin. If you just like the cosmetic of it, then this one is going to be perfect for you. I'm also going to leave a link below for you to check it out. And if cosmetic doesn't matter and if you just wanted to get the cheapest one possible, I'm also going to put a link below for the cheapest one I can find at the moment on Amazon. So you can just decide which one you like. But anyway, just throwing this out because I really like how it looks and it's just cool. It's just so cool. Like nobody hates robots, right? So we're done with the basics. Let's finally power this thing up. All right, so to get this power on, the first thing what we're going to do is we're going to power up. We're going to first plug in our charging block. We're just going to use the robot charger. You can see that once you plug it in, the eyes actually glows up. So another reason why I just love it so much, because it's just so sci-fi. I'm just a sci-fi fan, Star Wars sci-fi fan, as you can probably see on my logo. I just love those kind of stuff. So we're just going to leave it here. So stand nicely. Yeah, one fair warning is if you got the robot charger, it's not going to come with standard like USB-C to USB-C cable, so you're going to have to get it separately. Okay, so we're just going to plug in the USB-C cable. Basically, I think we should do it this side so it's easier. Such a long cable. Okay, so you're going to plug in the one with the 65 watt output port. Okay. And then the other side is going to be going into the Toothstor. Okay. Sorry, I should probably get a smaller cable. Okay, so once the charger has been powered on, we're just going to look into the LCD screen so we can just briefly explain what these does. So you basically have four little separate screen here. So each of them is representing one port. So it's very simple. So one is 1, 4 is 4, 2 is 2. Very, very simple. And on the bottom, you're basically going to have two buttons. So each of them is going to control different things. So if you short press the one on the left, is basically going to allow you to control the charging current, which is the amp right here. So you can see that we can adjust it from minimum 0.2 amps up to 1.5 amps. Okay, and for the button on the right, you basically get to select what is a max charge current you want this to be adjusted to. So you can see that we can start from 3.8 and 3.85. So 3.8 and 3.85 is basically going to be your storage voltage. Just remember that. And if for 4.2 is for regular lipos, and for 4.35, this is going to be your high volt lipo batteries. So some batteries do have higher voltage. You just have to check at your manufacturer website to make sure which one you have. You can always undercharge a high volt battery to 4.2, but you do not want to charge a regular lipo to 4.35. It is just going to blow up. Okay, so just make sure you pay attention to this. All right, so once we're done explaining this, we can start plugging in lipos. So we're going to plug in. Basically, this one is going to be a high volt lipo by GNB. The capacity is going to be 850. So each of the port is basically going to be individual. So the way of setting it to charge at 1C is very simple. You just have to get this number divided by 1000, and it's going to become your 1C amp. So this is 850 milliamps, right? So divided by 1000, so theoretically, if you wanted to charge one lipo, these lipo at 1C, you will have to set your, wrong. So this is a high volt lipo. So we're going to adjust it to 0.85, but there's no this option. So we're going to adjust to 9. And if you just wanted to charge a little bit faster, you could just adjust it to 2C, but since this one 2C is going to be, if you multiply this, it's going to be 18, but it only goes up to 15. So we could just do that just so it charges faster. But if you want it to be safest and the safest and the safest, charging at 1C is going to be always safest. And you can just put it at 0.9 for these lipos. If you have a 450 milliamp, it goes to 0.45. So basically 0.5 amp. Okay, so once we have adjusted the ampage of the current, let's just recheck the settings. So 1.5 amps, basically 1.5 amp, basically we're trying to charge this at 2C. And 4.35 is the maximum charge current we want this to go. And once you're ready, all you have to do is you can just long press the left button and it's going to start charging. You're going to see a little sun logo right here. That's an indication of the thing start charging. All right, we can just simply leave it here and wait it until it finishes charging. Okay, so during the charging period, I want you to make sure to stay with the charger, as there is always a safety concern with these LiPo batteries. Although there are already like safety function built into the ViFly ToothStor, but yeah, just keep an eye on it in case there is going to be anything wrong. You can stop it right away. Let's leave it for now and let's wait until the LiPo finish charging. Okay, so once the LiPo charging, you're going to see the little sun icon has become green. So that's an indication that this has been complete charging. So what you have to do is simply just remove the battery that is done, and the rest of it is going to keep on charging. So very simple. So this is the good part about having 4 individual parts. You can see that now this one has been completed, so you can just simply remove it, and then just make sure you press the stop button to actually pause the charger. So after this, you should be good. Okay, so once the charging has been completed, we're basically also completed our tutorial. This is just how simple it is. You can use your Toothstor charger. Alright, so let's talk about something about the Toothstor. And the Toothstor to me has a pretty nice design. It is just super compact. This is going to be perfect if you fly 2S swoop that carries 2S tiny batteries. You can just take this with you easily just for traveling. You don't have to bring a bulky charger like the Hoda D6. And if you're going to actually use this to charge these like tiny XT30 batteries, you do have to bring a lot of like converters to it. So if you don't have a converter, you won't be able to charge these, and this one is a perfect fix to it if you have a lot of traveling that is ongoing. And I think especially this is going to be perfect if you are actually operating those kind of 2S little Cinewoop that carries a O3 system, so you don't have to bring a lot of stuff to be able to film stuff for your clients. So this is something that I think is pretty neat for this. Also, since the Toothstor is only priced between about 30 to 35 US mark, it's a pretty decent gadget to keep in the pocket for ultra convenience, and the quality is actually not bad for the price. You can see the construction, everything seems to be very solid. I do have a small complaint of the Toothstor, which is I really wish the Toothstor is going to be an all-in-one charger for both 1S and 2S batteries. So basically simply just combining these two together. However, I don't know if this is technically going to be possible, as there might have to be a redesign of the whole thing, and there might be just some hazard concern due to potential misuse by charging incorrect lipos with the incorrect setting. But if there's something like this, it's going to be the best charger for OOP pilots, because generally OOPs are generally going to be in 1S, 2S category. Okay, so if you only fly 1S and 2S OOPs, then getting the Whoopstor, this is the Whoopstor that charges 1S, and the Toothstor that charges 2S, you get both of them, will make a lot of sense, as you will just be fully covered for all your charging needs, and you don't need to venture up to something that is going to be overkill. But if you fly a lot of stuff like me, from 1S to 6S, then the Toothstor might not be necessary, but a good addition. In this scenario, I will mainly use the Whoopstor for my 1S charging, as it is still the best for 1S charging, and I'm going to use a parallel charging board to connect with a Hoda D6, because you do need this to charge something up like above 3S to 6S. So you do need to have a larger charger if you are actually flying bigger batteries like those kind of 6S batteries. So you can basically use a charging board to also plug in these, or just a converter to plug in that to charge, just a converter, XT30 to XT60 converter to basically charge up these smaller lipos. So if you fly a lot of stuff, getting the Toothstor might be a little bit overkill, but same, I still think this is a really nice addition that you can keep in your pocket just for ultra convenience. Alright, so this is just my humble opinion, and if you'd like to support the channel and would love to get a Whoopstor, Toothstor, or even just to get a robot charger for yourself, I will greatly appreciate if you can help me click the links below, as they are going to be affiliate links, which I will get a small commission from your purchase, but it's not going to cost you extra. If you're not in the mood of getting anything, that's totally fine as well. I would greatly appreciate if you can help me hit the subscribe button and also like this video, so I will be able to keep myself going. No pressure at all, okay? If you have additional questions or comments, just please feel free to leave it down below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.